next thing what we are going to discuss in this particular beautiful session of mensuration two-dimensional figure is basic questions related to area and perimeter of a square. You already know what is this geometrical figure called as square. We already know that. Just small introduction once again. Square is a quadrilateral which is having all the four sides equal. That means if the length of one of the side of a square is a meters, then all the other three sides also will be a meters itself. All the angles, all the four angles of a square are 90 degrees, and if I draw the diagonal of the square, if the length of the side is a unit, then the diagonal will be root 2a, or it is a root 2 units. Now we already know so many other features of squares also. Let us not worry too much about that because we have already learnt in our previous classes. Let us directly move on to some of the basic questions related to area and perimeter of a square. How to find the area of a square, that also let me write it here because we are discussing that. Area of a square. Area of a square is nothing but side into side. In this example, I have taken the side as A. So it is A into A square. Similarly, perimeter of a square. Perimeter is nothing but sum of all the sides. Perimeter of a square is nothing but A plus A plus A plus A, which is nothing but 4A. So let us solve few questions based on these two concepts known as area and perimeter of a square. Now see here, sir. Let us start with some very easy questions. But whatever the questions I am solving right now, whether it is very limited number of questions in these basic questions, I wanted to solve the original examination question. It may be the original examination question which had come last year, or maybe 10 years before, or 15 years before, or whatever might be the scenario. But ultimately it's an examination question. I definitely want to solve that examination question for you people. Now see here, sir. This is your original SSC CGL prelims examination question which was asked in the year 2002. What is that question? The perimeter of two squares are 24 centimeter and 32 centimeters. There is this first square and there is this another square, right? There is this another square. Diagram is not drawn to the scale. There are two squares. Perimeter of first square is 24 centimeter. That means if I add all the four sides, then the sum is 24. That means each side is of 6 centimeter because 6 into 4 is only 24. Similarly, the other square perimeter is 32, means adding all the four sides will give me the sum as 32. That means each side is 8 centimeter. This is the meaning of the first statement. The perimeter of third square equal in area to the sum of the square areas of these two squares is how much? That means what is the question is, I need to find the perimeter of a third square. Okay, let us find the perimeter of the third square. There is another square which they are talking about. I want to find the perimeter of this black color square which is equal in area to the sum of the areas of these two squares. That means area of this black color square, area of this black color square is nothing but equal to area of this square. Area of this square is, area is nothing but I'll call it as A1. So it is 6 square 36. And let me call the area of this particular square as A2, and it is 8 square 64. That means the area of this black color square is nothing but sum of the area of other two squares. It is 36 plus 64. So area is nothing but 64 plus 36, which is nothing but 100, right? Which is nothing but 100. Now, can I say that area of this particular square is 100 and area of this black color square, let me call it as A square. A square value is 100. So A value is nothing but 10. That means each side is of 10 units. Each side is of 10 units. If each side is of 10 units, what is the total perimeter of that? Perimeter is 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, which is nothing but 40, which is nothing but my second option in this given question. Questions are very easy, But there are so many questions which are not that easy also. Let us try to solve that in the most easiest way possible. I hope my first question for this topic on areas and perimeters of a square is very clear for you people. Now let me immediately move on to my second question, which is quite similar to whatever I have solved right now. The perimeter of two squares are 40 and 32. That means if I call the side of first square as small letter a1, the side of second square as small letter a2, perimeter of first square is 40. That means 40 divided by 4 sides. Every side is of 10 centimeter. 32 divided by 4 sides. Every square is of 8 centimeters. So this is my first statement. The perimeter of third side, I am interested in finding the value of A3, right? Because if I know A3 value, perimeter of third square is nothing but 4 times of A3. I can easily get the answer. The perimeter of third square, and this third square has an area which is equal to the difference of the area of the two squares. That means the area of the first square is 10 square 100. Area of the second square capital A2 is 8 square 64. Area of the third square capital A3 is it is the difference of 164, which is nothing but 36. Now they are saying that area is 36. What is area of a square in general? Area of a square is side square. Side of third square I have taken it as A3. So it is A3 square is 36. So A3 value will be 6 centimeter. If one of the side of the square is 6, then the perimeter of the third square, perimeter of the third square is it is 4 times of 6, which is nothing but 24 centimeter, which is nothing but option A in this question. This also is your original CGL prelims examination question. In 2002, the question was asked for sum of the areas of the squares. In 2003, the question is asked for difference of the area of two squares. That is the only difference what you are trying to find in these two questions. Now, you might ask me a question. Yes, sir. First question is the sum. Second question is the difference. But it was asked way long before. Anyway, let us not worry about that part. Let us try to cover every possible model, whether it is easy or difficult or whatever it is. Now, this particular question, whatever I have solved right now, which has come in the examination 2003, the same question, similar kind of question had come in the examination in 2008. Now let us read the question. Perimeter of two squares are 40 and 24 centimeter respectively. If I take the side of first square as A1 and side of second square as A2, one of the side is A1. All the sides will be equal in a square. So perimeter is 4A1 is 40. A1 is 40 divided by 4, which is nothing but 10 centimeter, right? Which is nothing but 10 centimeter. Similarly, 1 minute, sir. So 40 divided by 4 is nothing but 10 centimeter is the side of first square. Similarly, A2 is 24 divided by 4, which is 6 centimeter. I need to find the perimeter of third square whose area is equal to the difference of area of these two squares. Same question whatever I have solved as my second question. Area of first square is, it is nothing but A1 square. So it is 10 square 100. Area of second square is, it is nothing but A2 square. It is 6 square 36. Area of the third square is, they are saying that it is the difference of capital A1 and A2. 100 minus 36 is 64. If area is 64, then side is, first of all, area of third square, area is nothing but A3 square, it is 64. So A3 value will be square root of 64. So it is positive 8, it is plus 8. But they are asking you to find the perimeter. Perimeter of third square is nothing but it is A3 plus A3 plus A3 plus A3, or it is 4 times of A3. It is 4 into 8, which is 32 centimeter. option B out of the given options. It is exactly similar to the question which had come in the year 2003. Both are absolutely the same varieties of question. I hope it is very clear for you people, sir. Now see this fourth question. Very important question. This was asked in SSC CGL 2017 Tier 2 question, which happened in the year 2018 February. Now see here, sir. In the given figure, ABCD is a square. In the given figure, first of all, figure has to be given. Yes, I will write that figure so that we will understand it. Let me write it little bigger so that we will understand it better. Okay. In the given figure, ABCD is a square. Let me do step by step. They are saying that ABCD is a square. Let me write it. ABCD. This is a square. Beautiful. Whose side is 4 centimeter. That means I can say that all the four sides are 4 centimeter in length. All the four sides are 4 centimeter in length. That is the question. Next. P is a point on the side AD. Now, there is a point which is exactly located on the side AD. That means this point is passing through that line AD. That point is on the line AD. P is a point on the side AD. What is the minimum value in centimeter of BP plus CP? BP plus CP. BP plus CP. They are asking you to find the minimum value in centimeter. Now see here, sir. This is a very good question. Let us understand it a little carefully. Please pay complete attention. Now, first of all, in the question, they have already given that. They have already given in the question that ABCD is a side who ABCD is a square whose side is 4 centimeters. Now, what I will do is, now see here, what is the minimum value of BP plus CP? First of all, where is the P present? P is present on the line AD, right? P is present on the line AD. Now, first thing is, they are asking you to find the minimum value of BP plus CP, or in simple language, I am starting at a point called as B. This is my home, for example. B is my home and C is my office, right? C is my office. That means I want to travel from home to office. I am traveling from home to office, but question says I want to meet this point called as P, and then only I need to travel from home to office. Now, if there is no such condition that I need to meet that point called as C, I could have directly come from B to C. I could have directly come from B to C along this path, which is nothing but direct value BC. And BC is anyway given in the question as 4 centimeter. So that would have been the minimum distance. That would have been the minimum distance traveling from B to C. But the question says that what is the minimum value of BP plus CP? That means there is no provision for you to directly come from B to C because they are constructing a road and the road is as of now not constructed. I want to go from B to P and then from P to C. What is the minimum distance is the question. Now see here, sir. This is where our logic or our common sense comes into picture. Now, this is the diagram. Let me split the diagram and explain you people in the most easiest way possible. Forget about the methods which some textbooks uses. Let us understand it in the most easiest way possible. Now, this is ABCD, right? This is ABCD. Now, what I will do is this particular point P, assume that point P is exactly there on point A. That means this particular line, this particular point is exactly coinciding with A. Assume that point P is coinciding with A. That means point P and point A both are exactly coinciding. That means from B to P I will travel 4 centimeters. Now I am at point P and that is the exact place where A is also located. From P to C I will travel again. Right, from P to C I will travel again. Can I say that If this is the side of 4 centimeter, diagonal will be 4 root 2, right? Diagonal of a square is side into root 2. That means if point P is exactly coinciding with the point A, then the distance that I need to travel BP plus PC is nothing but equal to 4 plus 4 root 2, right? It is 4 plus 4 root 2. If I take 4 common, it is 1 plus root 2. Root 2 value is 1.41. 1.41 plus 1 is 1.41 plus 1 is nothing but it is 2.41. 2.41 2.41 is multiplied by 4, right? I hope I am making sense for you. 2.41 into 4, it is approximately 9.64. That means, can I say that if that particular point P is exactly coinciding with A, then the distance that I need to travel is approximately 9.64. Now, think logically like that only, sir. Instead of making that point P exactly coinciding with point A, what I will do right now is I will move that point P slightly downwards. I hope I am making sense. You don't need to write all these things in the examination hall. I am writing for your better understanding. Point P was exactly coinciding with A. Now I will make it move little forward, little downward. That means this entire distance is 4 units, 4 centimeter. Let me assume that from A to P it is 1 centimeter. From P to D it is 3 centimeter. A to P is 1 centimeter. P to D is 3 centimeter. So they are asking you find the value of BP plus PC. Now this value is also 4. This value is also 4. This is a right angle triangle. This is also a right angle triangle. Can I say that? Can I say that? Think a little logically, sir. Can I say that this right angle triangle APB, this is known. This value is 4, which is known. So this will be hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is nothing but square root of 1 square plus 4 square. So it is square root of root 17. That means BP value is root 17. And I can also say that PC value is, this is 3, this is 4. Hypotenuse should be Pythagorean triplets, it should be 5. That means BP plus CP is nothing but it is root 17 plus 5. And what is the value of root 17? The value of root 17 is more than root 16 value. Approximately it is 4.12 plus 5. So your answer is approximately 9.12. Now see here, sir. Not the answer basically. That means if this point P, if the point P is exactly coinciding at point A, you got the total value as 9.64. But when it is moving little down, your value is reduced. But question says you want to find the minimum value of BP plus CP. That means you want to find a minimum value means this point P should keep coming down. Earlier it was exactly at point A. Because it came little down, now it is at this point where AP is 1 unit, PD is 3 units, and the value also reduced. If you want to check it out, 9.64 was the earlier value, now it is 9.12. It has become little minimum, but they want it to be the most minimum value possible. Other than that, it cannot be further minimum. Till that point you need to take care of it. Now think logically once again, sir. Can I also say that the reverse of this second diagram, is suppose point P is here. That means from point P is here, PD I will make it as 1. PA I will make it as 3. That is the reverse of whatever I have drawn just now. Then also you will get more or less similar kind of value only, right, sir? PD is 1, PA is 3. Instead of making it as 1 upper part, 3 down part, now I made 3 upper part, 1 down part, or the lower part. So what basically you will understand from these conclusions is, from these what you will understand or what you can conclude is, suppose let me draw the diagram once again for you. So the diagram means this is nothing but ABCD. In simple language I can say that this particular point, when it was at point A, the value was 9.64, but they are asking minimum. When it is at this point where AP and PD is 1:3, the value was 9.12. That means as and when it keeps moving downwards, the value will reduce. That means you will get the value as a minimum value when that point P is nothing but the midpoint of AD. Shall I tell you something, sir? Just to explain you that to get minimum value, point P should be the midpoint. I wrote all these right hand side diagrams. I hope I am making sense. Why did I write all those things? Only for your understanding. Do you need to write in the examination? Definitely no. Definitely there is no need for you to write all these things in the examination and solve it. Why did I write it? To tell you that P should be the midpoint if the value has to be minimum. That means they are asking you BP plus CP value. This is 4. This is 4. So AP should be 2. PD should be 2 right now. Then your value will become, your value now it will become, this is 90 degree. This is 90 degrees. So this will be square root of 4 square plus 2 square. 16 plus 4 is 20. Same thing here also, square root of 4 square plus 2 square. So your final answer will be root 20 plus root 20. It is 2 times of root 20. 2 into root of 4 into 5. Root 4 is 2. Take it outside. 2 into 2 is 4. Final answer for this question is the minimum value of ABP plus CP is nothing but how much? It is 4 root 5, which is nothing but my first option. A beautiful question which had come in the year 2017 SSC CGL Tier 2 question, which appeared or which happened in the year 2018 in February. I hope this kind of questions should be very, very clear for you people. And I am repeating once again, sir, there is no need for you to write all these things in the exam. You will write it to waste your time. But I don't want you to waste your time. Why did I write it? Not to waste your time. For you to understand better, I wrote it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have written. I would have directly told P should be the midpoint. If I tell like that P should be the midpoint, you will understand why P should be a midpoint. It is nowhere mentioned in the question. Why are you taking that condition? But I can say that only if P is the midpoint, then you will get the minimum value of BP plus PC. Otherwise, you will not get the minimum value. I hope I am very, very clear in whatever I have explained you people right now. Now, next thing is what we have discussed just now is we understood how to find the square area of a square and perimeter of a square. Now let us understand how to find the area of a square if it is in terms of its diagonal. Nowhere till now we have solved many questions in terms of diagonals of a square. Now let us start applying that. But before that, let us do few things so that we will understand our problems in the most easiest way possible. Now, suppose for example, this is my square. Let me name this square as ABCD. Question or the heading says that I am interested in diagonal, so I should draw the diagonal for my better understanding. Now, I don't know the side of a square. Let me, for our understanding purpose, let me call it some variable A. All the sides are A centimeter or A units in general. That means I told you that if all the sides are A units, then the diagonal will be, so it is this is hypotenuse of this right angle triangle. It is root of A square plus A square. It is root of 2A square, or in other words it is A root 2, right? The diagonal of a square is nothing but A root 2. Now think a little logically, sir. AC is nothing but the diagonal, right? AC is nothing but the diagonal. Let us understand this and prove something and use it after we prove something. Without proving, let us not use it. AC is nothing but the diagonal. Now, AC is nothing but diagonal and the diagonal value is A root 2. Now, what I will do is, I will square it. Why am I squaring it? Let us understand it after some time. First of all, AC square is nothing but A square into 2, or in other words 2A square. Now, forget about all this right hand side. Let me see the diagram what is there on the left hand side. Side of the square is A units. What is the area of this particular square? It is A into A, which is A square. That means A square is nothing but the area of the square. That means in simple language I can say that this A square whatever I have written here, this A square whatever I have written here, this is nothing but area of the square, right? This is nothing but area of the square. 2 will be multiplied as it is. This is nothing but left hand side is AC is nothing but diagonal. Let me call it as D, diagonal square. Or in simple language, the relationship between area of a square and its diagonal is given by D square divided by 2, where D is nothing but diagonal of a square. I hope the proof is very clear for you people, because I might directly use these notations in my problem solving, but I do not want you people to just by heart it and then use it. I want you people to understand how you got this relationship between area and diagonal, as area of the square is equal to half of square of diagonal. That is something which you should understand and then apply in problems. Now let us solve some questions which had come in the examination using this concept of area of a square and its diagonal. Now see the first question in this carefully, sir. First question is, the length of the diagonal AC of a square ABCD is 5.2 centimeters. That means diagonal, I will represent it as small letter d. It is given as 5.2 centimeters. Find the area of the square. Now, I directly know that area of the square is diagonal square divided by 2, right? It is diagonal square divided by 2. So this is 5.2 whole square divided by 2. Forget about the decimal. Assume it as 52 square. I already taught you how to find the square of numbers. In so many methods I have taught you the square. 52 square is 2704. After decimal you have only one digit. After squaring, after decimal, you should have 2 digits. So it is 27.04 divided by 2. When I divide 27.04 by 2, the value what I will be getting is 13.52 centimeter square. 13.52 centimeter square, which is nothing but option B. Right? There is something 2 was missing here. I just added it right now, sir. Original examination question, yes, it might be way long before and it might be an easy question, but let us appreciate the fact that we are trying to solve original examination question. Every variety starting from lowest level questions to the highest level question, we will keep solving and understanding. At the end of mensuration two-dimensional figure, you should not be left with any one variety also. That is the kind of thing what I want to provide you people. Now, second question. Second question also is a very straightforward question. Let us not waste time. The length of the diagonal of a square is a centimeter. Diagonal is given as a centimeter. Which of the following represent the area of the square? Now, I already know the relationship between diagonal and area of a square. Area of a square is diagonal square divided by 2. But diagonal value is given in the question as a. So it is a square divided by 2, which is nothing but option C. Very straightforward question. Consider yourself lucky if you get such kind of questions in your examination. Please see the next question, sir. Please see the next question. The diagonal of a square is 4 root 2 centimeter. Now, let me draw that square. Let me draw a square. The diagonal of this square is given as 4 root 2 centimeter. Now I know already that if the side of a square is a, then the diagonal is a root 2. That means if the diagonal is 4 root 2, then the side will be 4, right? Reverse is also true, right? The side will be 4 centimeters. The diagonal of another square whose area is double that of the first square. First of all, what is the area of the first square? It is nothing but 4 square 16. Now I have second square. I have my second square whose area is nothing but double that of the first square. That means A2 is nothing but 2 times of first area. 2 times of 16 is 32. Now area is 32. If the area is 32, I can also say that if the area is 32, I can also say like this as 32 is nothing but the area. Area of a square is nothing but a square. A square is 32. So a value will be square root of 32. Square root of 16 into 2. So it is 4 root 2. That means each side is nothing but 4 root 2. Each side is nothing but 4 root 2 of this bigger square. If side is a, if the side is a, then the diagonal will be a root 2. If the side is 4 root 2, diagonal is 4 root 2 into root 2, which is nothing but 4 into 2. Answer for this question is the diagonal of the second square is how much? It is 8 centimeters. Answer for this question is 8 centimeter. Or in simple language I can say, sir, in simple language, very important conclusion. Very important conclusion says that it's a very important conclusion. If area of bigger square, if area of bigger square is 2 times area of the smaller square, area of the bigger square is 2 times the area of the smaller square. This is an if condition. If area of a bigger square is 2 times area of a smaller square, then it's a diagonal or side of a bigger square. Diagonal or side of bigger square. Very important. Diagonal or side of bigger square will be, it will be definitely equal to root 2 times. It will be equal to root 2 times the diagonal or side of the smaller square. Sir, what are you talking about, sir? What are you telling? I did not understand. Can you please show it with the previous just now question, whatever you have solved? Yes, definitely. Area of bigger square is 2 times of area of the smaller square. It is given in the question also. The area of the second square is 2 times the area of the first square. Yes, that condition is satisfied. Then I can say that whatever the side I was having in this smaller square, that side will be root 2 times of that side. That means here the side is 4. Now the side on the bigger square will become 4 into root 2. Here the diagonal is 4 root 2. The diagonal of the bigger square becomes 4 root 2 into root 2. That means if the area of bigger square is 2 times the smaller square, then either take the side or take the diagonal of the bigger square. That side or the diagonal of that bigger square will be definitely equal to root 2 times the side or the diagonal of the smaller square. This is the beautiful conclusion what we can have it. Now, why did you tell this conclusion, sir? Because there is a very beautiful question which came in the year 2002, but you can answer this question right now, probably without using pen, and that too in 1 second, if you have understood the conclusion from my previous problem. The diagonal of a square A is A plus B. That means I have a square. The name of this square is square A. The diagonal is given as A plus B. Beautiful. This is the first statement. The diagonal of a square whose area is twice the area of square A. That means there is another square, bigger square, let me call the area of this square, let me call the area of this square, or let me call the square itself as b, right? Let me call the square itself as b. Now this square b is double the area of this square a. That means if the square is double, the diagonal will be root 2 times of the old diagonal. Old diagonal was a plus b, multiply it by root 2. Answer is root 2 times of a plus b. That is what I concluded from my previous question. I hope I am making sense for you and you are understanding it is in the very easiest way possible. Next question, sir. Next question. If the diagonals of two squares are in the ratio 2:5, their area will be in the ratio of what? Now see here, sir. Can I say that area of a square, area of a square is nothing but equal to diagonal square divided by 2. That means area of the area is nothing but directly proportional to square of the diagonal. This is something which we need to understand. Area of a square is directly proportional to square of the diagonal. Now area of one square and area of the second square, the ratio is what I need to find according to the question. Area of first square is diagonal 1 whole square divided by 2. Area of the second square is d2 square divided by 2. 2 will cancel. Diagonals are in the ratio 2:5. So this is 2 square is to 5 square. So areas will be in the ratio 2 square is to 5 square, which is nothing but 4:25. Answer for this question is option C, which is nothing but 4:25. Question number 6. Question number 6. Listen to this carefully, sir. A very rare question which had not come in the examination from all the questions what I am taking from the last so many classes of mensuration two-dimensional figures. Now see here. The length of the diagonal of a square is 15 root 2. In general, diagonal is nothing but given in the question as 15 root 2 centimeters. Okay. Find its area. Its area is how much? Area of a square is diagonal square divided by 2. Diagonal square divided by 2. Diagonal square is 15 root 2 whole square divided by 2. So this is 15 square into 2 divided by 2. 15 square is 225 centimeter square. Answer for this question is option D. Sir, can I do it in some other method? Definitely. Diagonal is 15 root 2. Diagonal of a square is a root 2, where a is the side of a square. That means a value is 15. If the side of the square is 15, area is nothing but a square, which is nothing but 15 square, which is 225. Sir, you do this method or method 1. It really does not make any difference, for the simple reason that method 1 is actually derived from method 2 itself. I have told you the proof also. So when method 1 is derived from method 2, it really does not give you different answers when you use method 1 or method 2, unless and until your calculations are 100% right. Answers also will be very clear. In both the cases, it will be the same value. I hope the idea is very clear for you people. Next question. See this question, sir. Original question which had come in the year 2010 and 2013. A kite is in the shape of a square with a diagonal of 32 centimeters. Let us do statement by statement. Let us not hurry up. Now, this is the usual form of a kite, right? A kite is in the shape of a square with diagonal 32 centimeters. Now, diagonal, the length of the diagonal, this value or this value, it is given in the question as 32 centimeter. Let me draw little neatly, sir. This particular value is 32. Otherwise, I already have joined another line that also is 32 centimeter. A kite in the form of a shape of a square with diagonal 32 centimeter is attached to an equilateral triangle of the base 8 centimeter. Now, this kite, it is attached to an equilateral triangle like this. It is attached to an equilateral triangle and the base of this equilateral triangle is 8 centimeters. Your question is approximately how much paper has been used to make that kite. Now, simple language, find the area of this entire diagram is the question. That is the simple way of asking it. Now see here, sir. Can I say that diagonal of this square is given as 32 centimeters and I want to find the area of this square. Area is nothing but diagonal square divided by 2. 32 square divided by 2. 32 square is 1024 divided by 2. It is 512. That means this entire green color kite is having an area of 512 centimeters square. Now, there is an equilateral triangle. All the three sides will be 8, right? All the three sides will be 8. Let me use a different color. Let me use a blue color, for example. Or purple color, for example. So all the three sides are same. Area of an equilateral triangle is, it is root 3 by 4 into a square. We have already solved questions. So this is root 3 by 4 into 8 square is 64. 4 into 1, 4 into 16. This is nothing but 16 root 3. That means this entire total area is nothing but area of the square A1 plus area of the equilateral triangle A2. Area of the square, we got it as 512 centimeters square. Area of the equilateral triangle, we got it as 16 root 3 centimeters square. Approximately 512 plus 16 into 1.732 is nothing but the value of root 3. That means this is 512 plus 16 into 1.732. Approximately you will get it as 27.172. That means 512 plus 27. Approximately your answer is 539.712 centimeter square. That means the answer for this question is option A. I hope I am making sense for each and every student who is watching this video. You need to find all these multiplications. You should find it. There is no other way for you, because if you observe the answer options, all are very, very closer to each other. 539.712. Fourth option is 539.217. They both are very close to each other. So it's better that you multiply these two rather than approximately finding the value. Answer, I believe it is clear for you how we got. This area is nothing but 512. This area of equilateral triangle is 16 root 3. Sum of those two is giving me 539.712, which is nothing but option A. Next question. The length of a rectangular garden is 12 meters and its breadth is 5 meters. That means I have a rectangular garden. Although the question or the topic what we are discussing is of square, question as of now is given in terms of rectangle. So it is 12 and 5. Okay. That means I can say that area of this rectangle, let me call it as A1. It is length into breadth. It is nothing but 60. If the area of this rectangle is 60 centimeters square, let us understand what else is our next statement and then try to map it and solve this question in the most easiest way possible. Your question is, find the length of the diagonal of a square garden. Okay, there is a square garden, right? There is a square garden which I am writing on the right side. I want to find the length of its diagonal having the same area as that of the rectangular garden. That means area of square, I'll call it as A2. But question says A2 is exactly equal to A1, which is nothing but 60 centimeters square. Now, can I say that area of a square is 60 centimeters square. Area of a square is also nothing but diagonal square divided by 2. This is 60. So diagonal square will be 120. So diagonal value will be equal to root of 120. So root of 120 can be further simplified as it is 4 into 30. Square root of 4 is 2. Answer is 2 root 30. That is nothing but option. Which one, sir? 2 root 30 here. It is not 2 root 3 here. 2 root 30, which is nothing but option A. I hope the answer or the idea is very, very clear for you people, sir. Answer is 2 root 30. Question number 9. SSC CGL Tier 2 Original Examination question in the year 2012. The area of the square inscribed in a circle of radius 8 centimeter is how much? Now, there is a circle which is given in orange color. There is a square which is given in green color. Now, question is, what is the area of this square which is inscribed in a circle of radius 8 centimeter? That means, if I take this point O as the center of the circle, the radius is 8. That means OC is 8 centimeter. OA is also 8 centimeter. Now, AC is nothing but the diameter of a circle. And I can also say that because the square is inscribed in a circle, that AC, which is nothing but the diameter of a circle, is also the diagonal of a square, right? AC is acting as a diameter. AC is also acting as a diagonal of that particular square because the square is inscribed in a circle. Now, what is the area of the square? Area of the square is diagonal square divided by 2. Now, I know that diagonal value is nothing but 16 totally. So, it is 16 square divided by 2. So, which is 256 divided by 2. It is nothing but 128 centimeter square, which is option C. It is not a difficult question at all, sir. Please see the source. Original SSC CGL Tier 2 questions, where students think that questions in SSC examinations in mensuration will be very difficult, but actually they are very easy. Yes, the level of questions in the last few years has been slightly difficult, but believe me, at the end of my mensuration complete topic of 2D and 3D, I will make it so simple for you people. See the next question. Your next question is, an equilateral triangle is drawn on the diagonal of a square. There is a square which is in orange color, and the diagonal of a square, one of the side of an equilateral triangle is nothing but the diagonal of the square. That means this AC, CE and AE, all the three sides are equal. Similarly, AD, AB, CB and DC, all the four sides of a square also equal. Find the ratio of area of triangle to that of square. Now, very easy, right, sir? Area of triangle to that of square. Now, area of triangle, which is an equilateral triangle, is it is root 3 by 4 into a square. But one of the side is nothing but diagonal of the square. So that is nothing but I will represent it as D. Root 3 by 4 into D square. Now, what is the area of the square? Area of the square in terms of diagonal is D square by 2. D square cancels with D square. So this will be root 3 by 4. Root 3 by 4 multiplied by 2 by 1. So 2 into 1, 2 into 2. So the ratio is nothing but root 3 is to 2, which is option A. Question number 11. Question number 11 says that let capital A be the area of a square whose each side is 10 centimeter. That means area of a square whose each side is 10 centimeter is, so area of that square is 10 square, which is nothing but 100 centimeter square. Okay, this is point number 1. Next, let capital B be the area of a square whose diagonals are 14 centimeter each. That means there is another square. This is my square 1, right? This is my square 1, and I have my second square. This second square says that the diagonal of this second square is given as 14 centimeter each. That means area of that square is B. It is nothing but diagonal square divided by 2. 14 square divided by 2. 196 divided by 2. It is nothing but 98 centimeter square. That means first square is having an area of 100 centimeter square. Second square is having an area of 98 centimeter square. Question is A minus B. A is 100, B is 98. 100 minus 98 is 2, which is option C. Questions will be easy, sir. Next, question number 12. The area of a circle whose radius is the diagonal of a square whose area is 4 centimeter square is. Now I want to find the area of a circle. Now first of all, there is a square. Let us understand like this. Let us not get confused. There is a square. Now find the area of a square whose radius is diagonal of a square. That means whatever the diagonal of the square value is there, that diagonal of that square is nothing but the radius of circle. Both are absolutely same. Whose area, the area of this square is 4 square centimeter. Area is 4. That means d square by 2 is 4. That means d square value is 8. Right? D square value is 8. D value is, it is square root of 8 to root 2. That means diagonal value is 2 root 2. That is nothing but equal to radius value also. Diagonal of the square and radius of circle both are same. They are asking you to find area of the circle, right? They are asking you to find the area of the circle. Now can I say like this? Can I say that area of the circle is nothing but pi r square? This is pi into 2 root 2 whole square. So this is pi into 2 square is 4, root 2 whole square is 2. It is 4 into 2, 8. So answer for this question is 8 pi square units, which is nothing but option 4. Now see this question, sir. A very good question which was asked in the year 1997 in an examination called as CAT. CAT is considered as one of the toughest exam. Let us understand that particular question right now and make it very simple. Now see here, the question says, the adjoining figures shows a set of concentric squares. Okay, it shows a set of concentric squares. Beautiful. If the diagonal of the innermost square is 2 unit, that means, let me draw it in this, the innermost square diagonal is given in the question as 2 units. Beautiful. The diagonal of the innermost square is 2 units, and if the distance between the corresponding corners of any two successive squares is 1 unit. There is a word called as squares missing here. The distance between the corresponding corners of any two successive squares is 1 unit. That means they are saying that the distance between, let me draw it with a different color, the distance between the corresponding corners, this particular corner and this particular corner, the distance is 1 unit. Similarly, this particular corner and this particular corner, the distance is 1 unit. Now your question is, find the difference between the areas of the 8th and 7th squares, counting from the innermost square. Counting from the innermost square, I need to find the difference between the areas of 8th and 7th squares, starting or counting from the innermost square. Now think logically, sir. First square is having a diagonal of 2 units. If I want to consider only one square, diagonal is, for first square, diagonal is 2 units. For second square, the total diagonal is, here it is 2, here it is 1, here also it is 1. So it is 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 1, 4. So 4 units, right? For second square it is 4 units. Similarly, if I continue further, for third square this will be 1 unit. Here this will be 1 unit again. So 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 2, 2 plus 2 4, 4 plus 1 5, 5 plus 1 6. That means diagonal for the third square is, it is 6 units. That means 2 is nothing but 2 into 1. 4 is nothing but 2 into 2. 6 is nothing but 2 into 3. That means, okay, let me do this problem from starting, sir, because of low battery in the laptop, it went to sleep mode. So I again kept it for charging. So I will do it from starting. Any person who is editing this video, please don't keep this. So you can delete it, you can cut it. I will start from the starting. I will again continue from the starting of the problem. Now let us understand the next beautiful question. This question is your original question which was asked in the year 1997 in one of the toughest examination called as CAT examination. Now see here, sir. The question says, the adjoining figures shows a set of concentric squares. What is the meaning of concentric squares? Concentric squares means all the squares are having the same center. That is the meaning of a concentric square. That is the first point. Second point says, if the diagonal of the innermost square is 2 units, if the diagonal of the innermost square is 2 units, this innermost square diagonal is given in the question as 2 units. If the diagonal of the innermost square is 2 units, and if the distance between the corresponding corners of any two successive squares is 1 unit, the distance between the corresponding corners of any two successive squares is 1 unit. That means that this is one corner, this is the successive corner, right? A corner, corresponding corner of the next successive square. The distance between these 2 points is given as 1 unit. Similarly, this particular point and this corner of the next square, the distance is 1 unit. The distance between the corresponding corners of any two successive squares is 1 unit. Your question is, find the difference between the areas of 8th and 7th squares counting from the innermost square. That means starting or counting from the innermost square, I need to find the difference between the areas of 8th square and 7th square. Now think little logically, sir, you will get the answer very easily. Now let us understand like this. If I have only this particular square which I am marking in black color right now, the innermost square, if I have only that particular square, the diagonal of the first square is nothing but, it is 2 units, right? It is 2 units. Anyway, that is given in the question. Now, what is the diagonal of the second square? Diagonal of this second square, this particular square, is nothing but this 2 units plus 1 unit plus here also 1 unit. That means 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus 1 is 4 units. That means diagonal of the second square is, it is 1 plus 2 plus 1, which is nothing but 4 units, right? Which is for 4 units. What is the diagonal of the third square? Similarly, this corner and this corner is also 1 unit, and this corner and this corner is also 1 unit. So diagonal of the third square is, it is 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. So it is 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6. Or in simple language, can I say like this, sir? Diagonal of the first square is, it is 2. 2 is 2 into 1. Diagonal of the second square is, it is 2 into 2. Diagonal of the third square is, it is 2 into 3. Diagonal of the fourth square is, it is 2 into 4. Similarly, diagonal of the seventh square is, it is 2 into 7. And diagonal of the eighth square is, it is 2 into 8. I hope you are understanding the logic. Question says, You need to find the difference between areas of 7th and 8th square, not the difference of diagonals. So area of 7th square is nothing but diagonal 7 square divided by 2. That means 14 square divided by 2. 196 divided by 2, or let me write it as 14 square by 2 itself. Similarly, area of 8th square is nothing but diagonal 8 square by 2. That means it is 16 square divided by 2. But question says I want to find the difference between A8 and A7. A8 is nothing but 16 square by 2. A7 is 14 square by 2. So that by 2 is a common factor. So this is nothing but a square minus b square is a plus b. 16 plus 14, 30. A minus b. 16 minus 14, 2 divided by 2. The difference is nothing but 30 into 1. Answer for this question is 30 square units. Please remember, this is the question which was asked in a CAT examination, considered as one of the toughest examination in India, although it is a question which was asked way long before in 1997. I believe that you should start analyzing and understanding this kind of questions, and you will definitely succeed. Any question which is given in any examination in mensuration, only when you keep practicing varieties of questions, and I believe that this varieties of questions is very clear for you at this present moment.